What is up guys, my name is Eagle Swords. I've got another part of my Battlefield 3 100 kill game on console, on normal rush, beasting it up. I'm currently going about 52 kills and 4 deaths. Just finished off from that stinger kill on the jet, taking down the jet for a bit of sort of close air support for myself, just to support my own chopper really, and I've just got back into CC's chopper after he crashed into a few rocks. Now, in today's episode, I'm going to go through a few tips on how to do well in the choppers. Maybe not quite as well as this, because I'm not really sure quite why I did so well in this game. Luck, I suppose, but certainly to be a consistently good chopper pilot slash crew slash whatever you want to call it, I think these tips will be useful to you guys. So that I'll get into that in a little while, but before that, I've got an announcement to make. Not really an announcement, but whatever. I just finished my well, I didn't really finish it, it didn't really happen, but just sort of finished match 1 of Project PTFO. We won by default. The enemy team got disqualified because of a late turn up. We tried to sort of negotiate getting the match back on, but in the end, by the time we got to it, we didn't have enough time, and the enemy team didn't have all 4 players. So, I mean, it really didn't work very well. I mean, it just turned into friendly games, followed by trolling each other and squad rush, and yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, but it's a bit annoying to win by default. You want to win fairly, you want to dominate the enemy team, so I'm disappointed, but we're through to the next round. We're playing Le Castas de la Abuela or something like that. I'm not sure quite what their team name actually is, but I know it's Spanish. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. The other thing I've got to say is I'm going to be live streaming tonight. Now, don't ask me why the hell I'm bothering to live stream. It's not like I've got subs or anything like that. It's more just for fun, just for testing this stuff. I mean, I'll get probably posted on Battlefieldo's / Project PTFO's team page, so I might get a few views, might get a few subs out of that. So I'm going to be streaming Battlefield 3 tonight. Hopefully, for much of the evening, I'll be streaming. I'll get some guys with me on the stream if you'd like to join me. My PSN is Eagle Swords. Just add me if my friends list is full. Send me a message. Yeah, we can have some good games. I'm going to be getting other people's voices on the stream, so we're going to have a massive, basically live commentary sesh. If I need anything, if I get a really good gameplay, I might rip it off the stream and take it over to YouTube as well. But just wanted to let you guys know that I'm live streaming tonight. And yeah, so now I've got to move on, because I've got to now talk about tips in choppers as we get disabled. So I know we get disabled a lot. There's a lot of things to avoid, but yeah, let's get straight into it. So the first thing that is important to bear in mind is the strengths and weaknesses of the attack chopper. Now, I've gone through this myself. The strengths of the attack helicopter are it's effective against infantry and tanks. Okay, the main job of an attack helicopter is to give air support for your team, take out infantry and take out tanks. Mostly tanks are probably the most useful thing you can do, but infantry mainly. You want to take out the tanks obviously first, because nowadays in Battlefield 3 I think they're still a one-hit kill on choppers, and what's more, they're just dangerous in general to your team and to you, so you want to take out tanks as soon as possible. Obviously another strength is the gunner seat, which is extremely powerful. Again, it's a strength against the infantry. The gunner seat is extremely powerful, and as you can see here, and you can use it very well against infantry. When you're working with a competent gunner as a pilot, you effectively have 2 sets of flares. Now, I know the flares are a bit dodgy, to be honest. They don't seem to be 100% effective. I have no idea why, but they're just not now for some reason. So yeah, I mean, that's it really. They're not 100% effective, but at least you sort of have 2 sets of flares. I mean, you see us getting locked onto quite a lot, and that's kind of where the flares come into play, is when you're being locked onto. You need something to counteract the missiles, but they're not 100% effective. I'd say the ECM jammer now has more of a case for itself, just because it is really reliable. It will break a lock. It will. But other than that, there's not really, you know, the flares can be a bit unreliable. Now, you see I bailed out of the chopper here, by the way. It's because we basically got destroyed. CC suicide, basically, and I managed to survive, and now I'm in their base, get a few kills on the ground. The weaknesses of the chopper are obviously jets and other choppers. Now, if you're, and of course mobile anti-aircraft, but that's less of a problem on console just because of the way that the vehicles are distributed. But the enemy jets are pesky. They are really pesky. They killed us at least once or twice during this gameplay. The enemy choppers are obviously no problem on Rush, but in Conquest that's something you really need to look out for, because otherwise they'll take you out extremely quickly. Now, that's a helicopter that I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. It's also commonly misused. It's a hunter-killer aircraft, really, in effect. And it works best if you surprise the enemy, if you kind of come over the top of the tree line or the building line, shoot a few enemies down, mow a few enemies down, and then fly away. You need to maintain that element of surprise. If you don't, you'll probably get hampered a bit more by those pesky Stinger missiles and jets and choppers and things on the ground. I see the helicopter so commonly misused, where people go really, really high up in the sky, try and take out jets, and then swoop in at really high altitude, try to kill people from really high altitude. Problem with that is, an enemy soldier, if he can't see you, can't lock onto you. If you're making yourself a plain target, this takeoff here, by the way, is a really funny one, because there's an enemy right out to the left-hand side. I saw him on the minimap as we took off. I was pretty freaked out by that. But yeah, there was an enemy right on our left-hand side when we took off. Found it quite funny. But going back to my previous point, if an enemy soldier can't see you, can't lock onto you. If you're going at high altitude, he's going to lock onto you. Also, if you're trying to combat jets at high altitude, really the jet should be taken out or should be challenged by your friendly jet. If a jet then comes after you, you've got problems. You shouldn't go at really high altitude. It just makes you a sitting duck for jets, particularly their guided missiles. I mean, I see a lot of sort of scrubs, a lot of randoms, a lot of blue dots doing that kind of thing. It's really, really the wrong thing to do. So yeah, that's how you should work against infantry or in general. Against tanks, they're fairly simple to destroy. If you have TV missiles, which are really powerful, as I mentioned in my previous video, and you're accurate with them, if you hit them with one of those and then put a few rockets from the pilot, that tank has had it. They're fairly simple to destroy. If you know, all you got to do, in my view, if you're lining up against a tank, is get a sort of medium altitude and then fly diagonally downwards towards the tank, preferably from the back, so you do the most damage. And once that's done, you give yourself a fairly long approach. You will take out that tank. It really is quite simple. If you're trying to combat choppers, which are of course pretty easy to destroy each other with choppers. I mean, obviously choppers are one of your priorities. If you're not making them one of your priorities, you're doing it wrong. But you really need to make choppers one of your priorities as a pilot, to take them out quickly so they don't take you out. Now this only applies to Conquest really, but I'm going to mention it anyway, even though this is Rush gameplay. Assuming you have anti-air missiles, you're stupid if you don't. You haven't been playing this game enough if you don't. You're an idiot if you don't. But assuming you have anti-air missiles, choppers are really easy to take down. All you do is lock onto them, wait for them to flare, shoot the missiles. If they don't flare, shoot them with your free guided rockets, and that should do the trick as well. So that is kind of my against jets. The thing that I would do is run and get in between buildings and try and make the enemy jet crash. That's what I would do against jets. A lot of people feel the need to take them out with anti-air missiles. You can do them if you feel that your air-to-air missile skill is excellent and the enemy aircraft pilot is really crap. Feel free to do that. I wouldn't. I'd just run. I mean, your best option is just to stay low to prevent lock-on and to sort of put the enemy jet off trying to go for you, because obviously if the enemy jet is trying to fly low to shoot you, if you're flying low, chances are they might crash into the ground no matter how good they are. So here something weird happens with the Stinger. I fall into the sea, and the enemy starts shooting at me, but I decide to commit suicide and not give them the pleasure of getting that kill. Just you know, just for bant. So I just kill myself. So this is the longest streak I had in the gameplay. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time, guys. Take care.